call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Texas Southmost College District. Trustees present, Ms. Delia Sáenz, Dr. Norma Lopez Harris, Dr. Zavaleta, Ms. Alejandra Aldrete, Mr. Camarillo, and Mr. Edgar Garcia. Also present is our president, Dr. Jesus Roberto Rodriguez. And I'm going to call on Dr. Zavaleta to lead us on the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Public comment? Okay. We are going to continue with presentation by Cinesol. Mr. Henry Serrata, welcome.
Good evening. My name is Henry Serrato. I'm the director for the Cinesol Film Festival. I'm here to thank Texas Southmost College for allowing us to have the 32nd Annual Cinesol Film Festival, December 5th, 6th, and 7th, here on campus. We used the Performing Arts Center as well as Set B. We showed over 45 independent films in 3 days. We had the Valley premiere of the Johnny Canales documentary, Take It Away. We had Nora Canales and her daughter doing a Q&A after the film. One of the short films that we showed, one of the directors has been announced as he's going to direct the Conjuring prequel. We had a movie starring R.J. Mitty, Browns's R.J. Mitty. We screened a short film from Bosnia that was nominated for an Oscar award last year. So Cinesol was a success, and we're here to thank you guys. So as a thank you, I'm here to present a T-shirt and a program for each one of the Board of Trustees. Woohoo! And a program as well. And I want to give a shout out to Dr. Tony Zavaleta for being in my mockumentary 21 years ago about the Chupacabra.
It wasn't the first Cinesol.
That's right. It was in 2005. Cinesol was here in Brownsville, and I did a short independent mockumentary about the Chupacabra, and Dr. Zavaleta was in it. So thank you very much. So I'm here.
Thank you for remembering.
Yes. So Cinesol was a success, and we hope that we can, this is the beginning of a long-time partnership, and we hope to return this coming year for our 33rd annual Cinesol Festival. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Serrata, it was amazing how many films you could watch. And I sat there, and it was one after another and after another. And then you got hooked. And then I needed to go, and I couldn't because the next one was just as good. And it's amazing how in that short film, you tell the whole story. It's very, very well done.
We had one room dedicated to short films, one room dedicated to documentaries, one room dedicated to feature films, and we had a documentary about the Uvalde mom, and then we had a couple of short films that's also directed by Rodrigo Moreno. Some of you know Rodrigo Moreno. So we had a mix, and we had a workshop by Peter Markham. He worked on The English Patient, and he worked on The Gangs of New York with Martin Scorsese. So he was here doing a free workshop. And as a reminder that our festival last year, all TSC students, faculty, and staff were granted free admission to the festival. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Serrata, we want to take a picture with you?
Yeah.
That's right.
We continue with Chairwoman's report. Since we met last time, we celebrated Charo Days, on how fun that was. We all had a good time. Dr. Harris was gone most of the Charo Days. Ms. Adrete wore beautiful costumes this year. We had a lot of fun at the parade, and after that, we had the loteria at the Jacob Brown, and that was fun. Mr. Camarillo was there. However, he was playing. Did you win anything?
Had to. No, I was, my aunt did. She won like 3 times, but somebody beat her the card, yeah. Well, they gamble a lot. She loves bingo, loteria, so I thought, I'll bring her along, she'll bring good luck. No, it didn't work out that way.
What was really amazing is that the participants that won that Playboy, they're really into loteria. I've never been able to get into it, right? But I enjoy seeing people play loteria because they're really into it. But they had their costumes and they were all dressed up, and there was serious business about that. So we also had Mr. Amigo at Charo Fest over at North and South. He got to come on board, decided that Brownsville would be a good place to live, and hopefully he comes here. He loved the college. The parades were fun. For all of us that participated, I think we all did, except, no, you didn't, and Dr. Valeta didn't, but we all did, and they were fun. I felt there was a lot more people this time than Christmas, right?
Yes.
There was a lot of, the Saturday parade was very, very packed. We had a really nice float that it was done very thoughtfully, and the aesthetics was really good, but it was hard to handle the waving inside the float. Yesterday, Mr. Hernandez invited me to come to Rio Grande to his ranch to meet with the governor, and I invited the president to come with me. And it was very, very productive. We got to speak to the governor. When I put the president in front of somebody that he can ask for things, he does without any shame. He's shameless.
None whatsoever.
No, so we took a guayabera to Mr. Hernandez, and we took a guayabera to the governor, and then we took the shawls to the First Lady, and they were very, very impressed. It was a very, very productive meeting with very important people that are all into TSC. And it is amazing to see how, when you say TSC, there's something good comes out of everybody's mouth, because we are doing great things. So it was amazing to be there. It was longer than I expected to be. The drive was 2 hours, and they were supposed to be for 2 hours, and we stayed there longer. And then we had to drive back 2 hours. So, but it was well worth it. Needless to say, we were excited. Yes, thank you. It was amazing because they were bragging about the culinary students from Port Isabel. And all of a sudden, it hits me. There are students. We're doing dual with them. So I tell Celia, those are our students, right? And she goes, and she thinks about it. So she gave us credit. And says, yes, and we were looking for somebody to certify us, and here comes TSC to the rescue, and now we're being certified in that. And I said, and we would like to take a picture with the students too, because that's one of our successes. But it's amazing how we know what we're doing and they know what we're doing, yet when it comes to let's bring them together, nobody thinks about TSC and bringing us together. Well, they're there because of what we did as a board and as a college. So then the governor gave us a shout out and said, we need the community colleges in our communities, and TSC is doing great things. And then he remembers it was our 100th. So he gave us a shout out on that. So we're continuing with our 100th anniversary celebration. I hope we all can join. That's right. The Port of Brownsville gave us a proclamation, which was very, very nice of them. That it started with the city, and I expected one from the county at some point, but it hasn't come yet. But the Port of Brownsville did give us one, and that was very nice of them. So shout out to them. I think that's all I have to report. It was a busy February, busy February. Mr. President?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, trustees. I would like to begin my report with the RGV Education and Career Expo that we held at ITech last month. More than 900 high school juniors and seniors from across the Rio Grande Valley visited ITech for career exploration. The event was led by RGV Elite with support from Workforce Solutions Cameron. We made a terrific showing with 30 TSC programs represented. The students also had an opportunity to attend workshops in soft skills and internship opportunities. I extend my thanks to all of the programs and departments that participated in the Career Expo. Also, from the Instruction Division, the Arts and Science Division hosted the Spring 2026 Faculty Art Exhibit at the ITech Art Gallery on February 18th. Guests explore our faculty's diverse mediums and perspectives, showcasing the depth of talent and artistic excellence in our fine arts program. I extend my thanks to our faculty artists for sharing their work and inspiring students in our community to pursue their own creative journeys. Next, I would like to share that I had the honor of serving as a keynote speaker during the February meeting for the Rio Grande Valley chapter of the Texas Association of Assessing Officers. During the meeting, I was able to share our mission as a comprehensive community college and highlight many of our points of pride. It is a good group of public officials, and I appreciate the opportunity to cultivate additional ambassadors for the good work taking place at Texas Southmost College. With the spring semester in full swing, our hardworking student services team, led by Dr. David Plummer, Ms. Vanessa Vasquez, Dr. Prissy Tipton, and Mr. Rene Villarreal, continue to host events designed to engage our community and promote student persistence, such as the Student Leadership Academy, BISD CTE Veterans Campus Tour, Middle School Open House, and Allied CTE tours. Thank you to the entire Student Services team. Now, there's so much good work taking place at Texas Southmost College that this evening, I want to take a different approach during this part of my report. With your permission, I would like to ask some of our vice presidents to highlight a few of our recent collective achievements. As you will hear, these undertakings are successful because we are working collaboratively to fulfill the vision that the board has set through our new strategic plan. We'll begin the presentation with Mr. Luis Villarreal, our Vice President of Information Technology.
Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez, Madam Chair, Board of Trustees. Generally speaking, keeping in front of technology trends is a challenge. There is always some flashy new hardware or software that gets released about 3 minutes after you finish implementing the hardware and software that you just bought. The day after you finally go live with it, 10 sales representatives flood your inbox with the latest and greatest gadgets and gizmos, advancing some impossible deal that is allegedly superior to the technology you just invested in. It is the nature of the beast. Having said that, in many institutions of higher education, they don't even have that problem. They don't have to worry about having the latest and the greatest. They worry about maintaining old hardware and software solutions. They worry about maintaining older skill sets and to support those systems and solutions. Why is that? Because they either undervalue technology, have limited funding, do not have the resources, or quite frankly, don't care enough about their students. But here at TSC, that is not the case. Whenever we have brought items or issues to the table here with you, the Board of Trustees, you have always been supportive of the college's needs. This is because you actually value technology, are generous with the funding, and actually care about the students. Whenever we approach this podium, we approach it as a member of a collective body of colleagues working in unison to service and support our students. In the past few years, you have approved a lot of technology and a lot of systems and services. You have approved customer relationship management software for student recruitment and retention, communication tools such as Mongoose Cadence for two-way texting to students, new solutions for educational technology to support instruction such as class.edu, Watermark, Simple Syllabus, Big Blue Button, and Zoom video conferencing. The creation of a digital library with associated software for digital resources through EBSCO and Follett, library checkout for laptops for students, upgrades to administrative software such as People Admin and Human Resources, and Ad Astra for room assignment and event management, upgrades to our classroom technology using Crestron controllers and new line interactive video displays, such as the one behind you. Digital signage at almost 40 locations for our marketing team to use to let our students know what events are happening. And many, many important improvements to our IT infrastructure and security posture, including new data and file storage, a new firewall, a new backup and disaster recovery solution, new network cabling, email protection systems, security software such as Barracuda and CrowdStrike, a completely new phone system through T-Mobile, and last but not least, an 18-month-long SaaS migration of our ERP system colleague into the cloud, which just concluded about 10 days ago, by the way. Like many of our projects, the SaaS migration project involved almost every division and department at TSC, including multiple staff members representing so many of our students' best interests. Finally, you have allowed us to gradually move away from a completely outsourced model in IT to a hybrid but heavily in-house model, allowing us to acquire talent in the management of infrastructure and security that work directly for TSC. We're building a team we can be proud of, I can assure you, and that's thanks to you. I really want to acknowledge the efforts of this board to value technology, be judicious but generous with funding, and most of all, care about our students. And I hope we can continue. Actually, I don't hope. The president tells me hope's not a strategy. I know we can continue to work together to move the institution forward in the future, and I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. I think this was a great idea, Mr. President, because we are doing all those things, and it starts right here, and with a board that cares, like you said, and I'm glad you noticed that, because we want to support you all
There's
the time.
another 50 or 60 things I could list if you'd like.
One thing at a time, one task at a time. Thank you, Mr. Rivera.
Next, I invite Mr. Excuse me. Next, from the Finance and Administration, our freshly minted new Vice President, Mr. Carlos Pizarro.
Whoa.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, I'd like to highlight some of the good work that we have done out of the Finance and Administration side of the House, and to thank the Board of Trustees for their continued support. The Finance and Administration Department continues to be a good steward of the public's money. Over the past years, the TSC Board has adopted and maintained a balanced budget that yields a positive change in net assets. What this means is we have seen our overall budget grow from 49 million to 68 million in just the last 5 years, all while reducing tuition and fees, and as well, our property tax rate for the last 4 consecutive years. In addition, our diversified investments have continued to yield positive results year over year. To summarize, we're in a great place financially. As you know, the results of operations are audited by an external accounting firm on an annual basis. In fact, an annual financial statement audit performed by certified public accountants that are licensed to practice in the state is a requirement for all community colleges in the state of Texas. To remain in compliance with the state and federal requirements, we report the results of that audit to the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, to our accreditation body, the SAC-COC, to various state agencies, such as the Legislative Budget Board and the State Auditor's Office, as well as state and federal granting agencies. Later in tonight's meeting, you will hear our external auditors present on the results of the audit for the fiscal year ended August 31st, 2025. But I'll try to paraphrase the results of all the hard work everyone has put in. We earned an unmodified opinion on our financial statements, our internal controls, and on compliance. That is the best result we can achieve from a financial statement audit. So I would like to share a sincere thank you to all of the members of our campus community that helped achieve this result. As we continue to grow as an institution and as our enrollment continues to change and increase, we recognize and filled the need for additional staff and faculty. If you think back, we were the only higher education institution in the Rio Grande Valley who did not furlough or lay off any employees as a result of the COVID pandemic. In fact, in the last 3 years, we have averaged over 20 new positions to our Scorpion team of employees. Even though we continue to be conservative with our operations, we have remained consistent with pay increases for our full-time staff and faculty. The TSC board recognizes that we need to attract and retain top talent. For example, this year, the TSC board gave all full-time faculty an $11,000 pay increase. This pay increase places Texas Southmost College as a competitive employer when it comes to salaries with our higher education institutions in the Valley. Let me conclude by saying thank you to our board chair and to all the trustees for your continued support.
Thank you, Mr. Pacero. And you have really earned the position, right?
Thank you, Madam
But
Chair.
congratulations, well
Thank you.
deserved, well deserved. And again, we forget we do all those things, and thank you for reminding us, because yes, we were all united when we said we're gonna give this raise to the employees. We were all united when we supported your initiatives. And just a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to somebody about iTech and how much money we've invested, and that person asked me, did you all float a bond? And I said, no. How do you do it? I said, we're frugal, and we have fiduciary duties that we respect. So, but thank you, it takes people like you to keep us in line as well.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board of Trustees.
Next, I invite Mr. Oscar Hernandez, our interim Vice President of Instruction, to the podium.
Thank you, President Rodriguez. Madam Chair, members of the board, I would like to speak to you about the great work TSC is doing from the Office of Instruction's perspective. As you know, TSC opened its doors in 2013 with 43 academic programs. As of today, TSC has 75 active programs, one more in the works that was presented to you last month. And as a matter of fact, this evening, 4 more programs will be presented to you for your consideration. As you know, COVID caused a reduction in enrollment nationally. TSC was one of only 9% of institutions across the United States that saw an increase in fall 2020, right at the peak of COVID. Today, I'm happy to report that TSC's enrollment is at an all-time high since 2013. In fall 2025, TSC had the largest enrollment for any fall semester, with 9,207 students. This spring semester, it looks like TSC will surpass that mark. Projected numbers show an enrollment of 9,695 students, making it the largest enrollment in any semester since 2013. Well, TSC does not only enroll students, we also graduate them.
Woohoo!
The 3-year graduation rate continues to grow, now surpassing the state's average by 4.2%. In closing, I would like to thank the Board of Trustees and the entire TSC family for their support and commitment to the communities we serve. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez.
And finally, we'll hear from our Vice President of Institutional Advancement and External Relations, Dr. Stella Garcia.
I heard a little clap over there. Thank you, President Rodriguez. Thank you, President Rodriguez. Chair Garza, members of the board, thank you for allowing me to give you a quick update from institutional advancement. I want to share with you 3 updates on the Centennial Celebration, on the foundation scholarships, and on workforce training and continuing education. So regarding the Centennial Celebration, I couldn't say it better than Chair Garza right now. We've been having fun. And we kicked off with the Conjunto Festival in January. It was a cold event. Excuse me, I'm spitting out my cough drop. But it was a free event for the community, and we had several Grammy Award-winning performers. So it was a great event and so much fun and great, wonderful student performances. So much fun that we're already talking about next year and what we're going to do next year. And somebody said 2 days, and we're like, calm down,
Calm down. Calm down.
But it was a beautiful event, and it was great to show off our campus. Beautiful venue. In February, as Chair Garza mentioned, a lot of fun with the Loteria, some serious players. And it was our own custom Loteria. Marketing did a great job of putting the cards together. And we made sure that we had a lot of unique cards so that there wasn't a lot of people winning on the same game. So I think that might have been part of you not winning. Sorry about that. But so much fun that everybody says, let's do it again this year. Let's do a couple more this year. So we plan to do some more events this year. In March, our centennial event is the TSC Historic Run, scheduled for Saturday, March 28th. And we've been tracking the registrations, and they're growing about 10 to 15 every day. We're at 212 runners. Whoa. And it'll grow a little longer. I think we might get close to 300. So we're looking forward to that. It's not too late to sign up. Several of my peers here, including myself, we're doing at least the 5K. I'm not sure about some, maybe they're doing half marathons. It will start right outside this door, right on Gorgas, and it'll go to iTech, and it'll loop back here twice for 13.1 miles of the half marathon. The 5K will be a little short. It won't go all the way to iTech, but it'll end back here on campus. So we look forward to having many more guests on campus, and another great centennial event that we're looking forward to. In April, we have 3 events. The Diamond Gala on April 11th, the Saturday. We started with the jewel-themed galas 5 years ago. We started at the Oliveda Student Services Center, and we outgrew it. And now we're at Jacob Brown, and it's getting tight. This year, I'm proud to announce we have 4 double diamond Scorpion sponsors. What does that mean? That's $10,000 tables. It's double the amount from last year. And we couldn't do that without Chair Garza, because she did 3 of those 4 tables. $30,000 of the 40 was raised by Chair Garza. So it makes our job easier when that happens. So thank you. Personally, thank you. The next event is April 19th. It's a Sunday. It's TSC Children's Play Day at the Zoo. Our TSC Teacher Education Program is organizing this event. So the foundation is supporting that 35 diverse games, children's games, from traditional games from across the world will be played with the children there at the zoo. And so we hope that we have a good turnout. We'll continue to promote it. And the last April event is the Bougainvillea Ball, April 25th. Traditionally a student event, right? Our students. But this year, Centennial, we're inviting alumni. It's like a reunion, and past kings and queens of the Bougainvillea court. So we want to be able to have a good time and reminisce at the Jacob Brown Auditorium to join our students.
Is there a theme to the
I need to find out, yeah. We'll have to, because we'll start promoting that in the next week, right after spring break. We're going to start doing the call. And I would be remiss not to acknowledge the sponsors of these foundation events, as 100% of the proceeds from our gala and the centennial events, past and future, are going to TSC student scholarships. So having said that, we have current, what we call Centennial Legacy sponsors. They have committed $25,000 to our events. We list them as a co-sponsor for a specific event with the TSC Foundation. As of before this morning, we had 5. Law Office of Luis Hernandez, Lady Rifas Insurance, they were the co-sponsors for January for the Conjunto Festival. We have Valley Regional Medical Center. They will co-title or co-sponsor, to be title sponsor in September. Lone Star National Bank, another Centennial Legacy partner, they will co-sponsor the December event, our finale. Greater Brownsville Economic Development Corporation, or GBEC, is also a legacy partner. They have not picked their month. Shadow Days, Inc. is a legacy partner, $25,000. They have not picked their month either, but their logo will appear on one of our events. And just this morning, we got news from HEB. They have committed not to one, not to two, not to three, but 4 events this year. That's $100,000. So their name will be there, and they're excited about bringing their employees to volunteer at all of these events. So I mentioned earlier that 100% of the proceeds are going to student scholarships. So I want to cover quickly my second topic, which is the foundation scholarships. The need for scholarship continues to grow for our students. But as you heard from Mr. Hernandez, our college enrollment continues to grow. And we've seen that in the scholarship disbursements that the foundation has made to the college. Let me share you just a quick example over the last 4 years. Fiscal year 23, the foundation committed $275,000. Fiscal year 24, $350,000. Fiscal year 25, $400,000. And this current year, $470,000. That's a 170% increase from FY23. And the need continues to grow. So these events that allow us to raise monies go to that. Very good cause. And finally, I want to give a quick update on workforce training and continuing education. So later in the meeting, you'll get a facilities update as you normally do. And that shows the commitment by you, your Board of Trustees, in funding capital improvement projects. For that, I thank you. One of those projects was the expansion and renovation of the pipe fitting lab there at iTech. The project started and finished last year. It finished, there's minor testing going on. But that renovation allowed us to double the capacity of the lab, meaning we can now train 20. We were 8 to 10, now we're 20. And why did we need that to happen? Industry said we need more. We need to expand this because we need to train more. And all you have to do is drive down Highway 48 or read the news or social media. There's a lot of growth happening. The LNGs, we got 2. The new Austin-based company making the autonomous ships, just announced in February. And most recently this week, the oil refinery. All of that, we talk about what jobs are gonna be there, but before we can talk about what jobs, we gotta build them. The construction. That's where pipe fitting comes in. We need pipe fitters to build all those things. And so your support in helping us expand is gonna go, you're gonna see it every day, every time you pass by 48. You were responsible for that, so we thank you for that. And I think the president, one of the things that we are challenged with is, excuse me, my nose is starting to run, student tuition. Student tuition on workforce training programs, thank you. We have facilities, we have instructors, but sometimes, thank you so much. Excuse me. The students can't pay their tuition. So we get funding from grants from WIOA, and the president started his presentation about the collaborative efforts, and Luis and everybody's talked about the collaboration, right? But there's collaboration with community and industry, and so our collaboration with economic development partners, and us going to them to say, we need your help, we need training dollars for these students to go through skilled training so they can go get that job and build this community. And so we are fortunate that there's good relationships with economic development. They have committed dollars to workforce training. Those dollars are bringing down money from the state to double so that we can train more people. And so we have several projects in the works with economic development to do pipe fitting training. So we're excited about that. So we continue to evolve as our community continues to evolve. And I want to thank all of the employees that we work with for the events, for everything we do. But I have to thank the board, your time, your commitment, your support. We can't do any of this without you. So thank you for all you do, and happy to give you this great report. So thank you.
Dr. Garcia, sometimes I wonder how you do all of that, and you do it so well, but I know you have a team. And I see it in every event. And there is no shortage of volunteers, the families working together, and it is really nice to see that. Going back to Mr. Hernandez, it's crazy to be that guy that gets to do it all, and we just take it for granted, right? You just told us we grew, we just opened a bachelor's program, and all of that is your office, and we just take it for granted because you do it so well. Thank you, sir.
On behalf of the Scorpion community, I want to thank the TSC Board of Trustees for your unwavering support and your commitment in helping to continue to move TSC forward. As you can see, your investments as a board are reaping exceptional results. These are just a sampling of the great accomplishments taking place at Texas Southmost College through the productive collaboration of the entire Scorpion team. And now, it is time for this month's video highlighting the activities that occurred since we last met. Can you please roll the video?
It looks like we had a lot of fun. But I was going to say something before I forget, because Dr. Garcia mentioned something about, the scholarships, and I watched Dr. Rodriguez yesterday. He's gotten very, very talented at talking to the commissioners about what they need to do for us to train the students and who needs to pay so we can train the students. You want to talk about that? The talk with Commissioner Villarreal yesterday?
And just to reiterate, we have a wonderful institution. We got great faculty, staff, but we have an overhead. It does cost money to train folks. We have wonderful relationships with our industry partners who are willing to hire them. And we have people and individuals in our community that want to upskill, reskill, or just want to be trained to do something. And unfortunately, they do not have the purchasing power to pay out of pocket. And there are limitations to certain grants, and there are limitations to certain government entities and other areas that are there. But it is through our economic development corporations that the funding to train our workforce is there. So we're talking to the commissioners, and we're having a good conversation. And whenever you employ someone, that's underemployed or unemployed, we get them out of the welfare system. A lot of them, they start purchasing their acquisition, and they start paying taxes more in the sales tax. So it is that cycle of moving our community forward. They were very receptive of our comments, very receptive of the wonderful thing we're doing. And I think we've turned the corner. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks to each of you trustees. I see the city really giving us a vote of confidence and continuing to support us and be committed. So we're hoping this can continue to blossom and move forward in the right direction and train our citizens for a better life for themselves, their families, or the future families they're going to be building.
Thank you, sir. He does it so effortless when he's talking about, and that's because I know we chose the right president, because the heart is there, and he's always looking for an opportunity, and I'm always amazed. Yesterday, he was my guest, right? But he took over the conversation at the college, and it's really nice to sit back and watch, how he feels about the college and how he feels about this community that he's new to, really. So thank you, Mr. President, for all you do for the college.
Thank you. Can't do it alone. I surround myself by wonderful colleagues, and it's great to have a board that supports you, because I can come up with ideas, but without your support, it makes it very difficult. And I know I count with your support. That's why I can speak up and had a great conversation with the governor and kind of put a little plug in there on the applications coming his way, if we can support it on his discretionary funding. So it's good. It's a good.
He said all that in like 2 seconds.
Boom, done. And so we're moving in the right direction. And in closing, once again, I want to thank our Board of Trustees for your continued support and commitment to all the communities that we serve. And we're just a few months into our centennial celebration, and there's a lot more coming, and we're planning on having a lot more fun. And remember, it's about raising money for our students. And with that, thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Board of Trustees, for your support. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. President. And thanks to all the VPs for presenting. I think we should do it at least once every 2-3 months.
Yes, ma'am.
At least once a quarter, or twice a semester. Because it was very educational and very informative. And we're done with that. Item number 7, consideration and possible action on approval of the minutes of the following meetings. Regular meeting, January 22nd, 2026.
I so move.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Aldrete, second by Mr. Camarillo. Any discussion? No changes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Okay, consideration and possible action approve amended notice of election. Dr. Garcia?
Chair Garza, members of the board, President Rodriguez, in your packet, there's information in November when we went through all of the order of election and the designation of the elections agent. we included the notice of election there with a certain list of early voting locations and election day locations. They were based on information we'd received from the county. In that, there was, they were based on precincts, so locations you had to vote by precinct. And last week, when you got your packet, the county had given me an updated list about 3 weeks ago. And then yesterday, I got a new list. And so in your packet that you got at home, if you had looked at it, the page you have today is different because we inserted that today. And so the biggest change on the amended notice of election, so in your packet, you have a copy of what you approved in November. And we are presenting to you today what needs to get amended. And it is the locations of the early voting sites. It is that they are county-wide now. So the county has moved to a county-wide elections process, meaning on not just early voting, but on election day, on May 2nd, you can vote in any location in the county. And so that is what is reflected in the amended notice. And so, and you see that on election day, voters may vote at any open polling location listed below between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on May 2nd. The countywide polling place program is being used in this election. And so you see all of those locations. What changed from last week to this week for the same day is that 8 locations were added. So American Legion Hall in La Feria, Fred Booth Global Leadership Academy from San Benito, La Paloma Elementary School from San Benito, Los Indios Community Center in Los Indios, Maria Luisa Ruiz Guerra County Annex in Santa Rosa, Rio Hondo Municipal Center, Civic Center in Rio Hondo, Sullivan Environmental Science Academy in San Benito, and UTRGV Clinical Education Building Auditorium in Harlingen. Those were the differences from last week's to today's on the May 2nd voting locations. On the early voting locations, the only change is they added one, and that was Los Fresnos. So the Los Fresnos Community Center was added as an early voting location in yesterday's email from the county. So that's the difference between last week's and this week's. And so now we're just, if you approve this, then Chair Garza would sign it as the presiding officer, and we would post this on the website and on the, out on the bulletin board and then in the newspaper. Happy to answer any questions.
So I need a motion.
Move to approve?
I second.
I have a motion, Mr. Camarillo, second by Ms. Aldrete. Any discussion? Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Garcia. Finance Committee.
Yes. The Finance Committee met on Monday, March 3rd, 2026. Present were Chair Garza, Secretary Lopez Harris, President Rodriguez, members of the TSC Administration and College Legal Counsel. The committee discussed the following items: consideration and possible action on award RFP 26-04 for structured data cabling project for academic buildings. I call on Mr. Luis Villarreal to present this item.
Thank you, Ms. Sines. Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, Dr. Rodriguez. For your consideration tonight and possible action is the approval of this RFP for structured data cabling at our academic buildings, specifically 2 buildings, the Mary Cardenas buildings, north and south. We followed the normal RFP process that began in mid-December and carried all the way through to today. The 2 buildings in question, again, are north and south. We will be replacing the structured cabling, which is copper cabling, not fiber cabling, 432 drops in the north building and 480 new cable drops in the south building. We will also, as part of that project, be moving one of the network closets. That's what the IDF means up there, the distributed frame network closet. We'll have to move the rack into a safer location. Right now, it's overheating where it is. So this will allow us the opportunity to rectify that situation. Facilities is helping us with that. This is the committee that was on the evaluating the RFPs. several from IT, Ms. Tuttle from Safety and Risk, and Ms. Leal from Human Resources. These were the respondents. You can see it was very close between two of them. S.J. Rodriguez, so I believe is the brother of Dr. Rodriguez, is that not? No, I'm sorry.
That's how rumors start.
It was nice working with you guys. I appreciate the opportunity. No relation to Dr. Rodriguez. That's Telepro Communications. We use them quite a bit here on campus. We also use International Global Solutions quite a bit. Both of those companies are the two primary companies in the last few years that have been supporting us for cable installations, particularly for major projects. I was not on the committee. Apparently, it was very close. The score was almost identical. They decided to go with Telepro. Very slight considerations on why they were favored, cost being one of them, barely. But mainly, we've experienced the work that Telepro does, in my opinion, is a little more succinct. They label better. I think overall they do a better job, but it's very close. We're recommending Telepro. Again, we follow the normal process and for the selection criteria that we do for all our RFPs. This is one of the projects that was approved when you approved the capital funding projects that Dr. Rodriguez proposed for, telecommunications infrastructure improvements. So it'll be coming out of that budget for this fiscal year.
I
And that
move to
concludes my
approve
presentation.
to award RFP 26-04 for structured data cabling project for academic buildings to SJS Rodriguez, Inc., DBA Telepro Communications, in the amount of $219,280 plus 5% contingency to cover unforeseen events, and authorize President Rodriguez to execute the contract as presented.
I have a motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Sines, second by Secretary Lopez Harris. Any discussion? Yes.
How long will this last? When will this need to be replaced?
Yeah, so we're going to have to, this is going to be disruptive to the classrooms. So we're going to have to coordinate this with Mr. Hernandez right there and our deans and chairs. It's going to take, it's going to take a couple of months, I think, from end to end. So we're just going to have to coordinate with them when it's the least obtrusive. And they're going to be working nights and weekends.
And the product is good till?
Oh, 7 to 10 years easy. Yeah. Mhm. The current cabling is probably 15 years old over there, so yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did we vote?
Thank
Do
you.
we vote? Oh, all those in favor?
Oh,
Aye.
right.
Against? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 9B, consideration and possible action on approval of scheduling platform subscription contract. Mr. Villarreal?
Thank you, Ms. Science, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Rodriguez. Again, this one is for your consideration and possible action. This is the renewal of software that we currently already use. It is called Ad Astra. I mentioned it earlier today. We've been using it for many, many years to do classroom scheduling and event management scheduling. We're not on the most current platform. And so the reason we're bringing it to you is because we would like to upgrade to the most current platform. And that upgrade actually is fortuitous because it would allow us to integrate in a way we haven't before. Now that we're on the SaaS version of Colleague, we really couldn't take it on during the migration process. It was just, they couldn't schedule it on their project schedule. So we just decided to wait until we completed the SaaS migration. And now we begin the upgrade. The reason we're bringing it to you is because we're going to do a 3-year contract. Otherwise, it wouldn't exceed the $50,000 per year, right? But it does over 3 years, so that's why it's before you today.
Okay. I move to approve the scheduling platform subscription contract with Ad Astra Information Systems, LLC, through exempted purchasing method in the total amount of $120,983 for current fiscal year plus 3 subsequent years, and authorize President Rodriguez to execute the purchase order as presented.
I have a motion by Ms. Sines,
Second.
second by Dr. Lopez Harris. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 9C, monthly financial statement report for the month ended December 31st. I call on Mr. Carlos Pecero.
Thank you, Trustee Sines. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, I have for you the monthly financial statement report for the month ended December 31st. We also have a column for the month of November, so I'll concentrate my presentation mainly on these two columns here on November and December. As we normally present, we have three fund types that we adopt a budget for. So I'll begin with the first of the three, the Education and General Fund. On this slide, we have revenue for the months of November and December. That's 4.8 million and 6.8 million. Moving on to the expenditures categories, we have salaries and wages of 2.4 million and 2.6 million, respectively, for November and December. And we also have subtotals for benefits, 624,000 and 658,000. Moving on to the M&O category, the detail goes through this slide and concludes on the following. And at the bottom here, we can see those subtotals, 1.9 million for November and 1.4 million for December. Still in general fund, we have a subtotal for travel, 29,000 and 20,000 respectively. And we also have our general institutional category, which is 107,000 and 90,000 respectively for those months. Last slide for the general fund. This is total expenditures for the months of November, 5.1, and the month of December, 4.8. So that's revenue and expenditures for the general fund. Moving on to the, before I move on to the second of the three, this is our budget amendment recap expenditures. So for November and December, those are the amounts that were expended in those months. Now moving on to the second of the three fund types, the auxiliary fund. We have revenue on this slide, and so we have a subtotal of 116,000 and 399,000 for those 2 months respectively. Now we have the expenditures categories. So we have salaries and wages of 61,000 and 59,000, along with benefits of 15,000 and 16,000 respectively for those 2 months. Now we have the M&O category, which starts on this slide, bless you, and then concludes here on this slide. For the months of November and December, subtotals for M&O are 39,000 and 40,000. On this slide, we have our travel subtotal for the auxiliary fund, 11,000 and 12,000, and then also our total expenditures for the auxiliary fund, 127,000 and 129,000. So that's both revenues and expenditures for the auxiliary fund. Last of the three fund types, now our general obligation and revenue bond funds. On this slide, we have revenue. November's 1 million and December is 592,000. And on the following slide, we have, bless you, sir, our expenditures for the bond funds, which is $7,900 and $1,200 respectively for those 2 months. So that's revenue and expenditures for all three fund types. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer those.
This is for informational purposes only and does not require board action. 9D, annual investment report for fiscal year ended August 31st, 2025.
Thank you, Trustee Sines. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, I have for you the annual investment report that's required by the Public Funds Investment Act. The format of this report and the content of the report is very specific. It has to be done in this format, and it also has to answer the questions that you see here on this last slide. So it has very specific information in that methodology that's required by the Act. We're presenting it in this fashion. And if there are any questions, I'd like to try and answer that. With that, I'll conclude my presentation.
This is for informational purposes only and does not require board action. Thank you.
Any questions?
9E, annual financial report and audit for Texas Southmost College District for fiscal year ending August 31st, 2025.
Thank
Mr.
you,
Pecero?
Thank you, Trustee Sines. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, we have a representative from the audit firm Cascos and Associates here, Mr. Carlos Arispe. With your permission, I'd like to ask him to step to the podium and make his presentation. Thank you, Carlos.
Good evening, Chair, Trustees, President. My name is Carlos Arispe. I come on behalf of Cascos and Associates, and I'm here to present the audit report for fiscal year ended August 31st, 2025. Before I begin, I just want to give thanks to the board for contracting Cascos and Associates for the audit, and I want to give thanks to the staff for their support during the audit. We couldn't have completed the audit without them. Thank you very much. Now, I don't know if you have the report in front of you, the annual financial report, but this report contains 3 opinions from us. Two of them are opinions, one is our report. If you could turn to page number 1.
This is the report format. It is, yes, there you go. Thank you so much. This is the report.
Thank you. Thank you, Carlos.
Yes, sir.
On page number 1, I'll give you a second to turn to the page. This is the independent auditor's report. This year, you had an unmodified opinion. That is the highest that you can get. And what this means is that your financial statements were fairly presented in all material respects for the fiscal year. And this is based on test work that we performed, reconciliations, confirmations, and other procedures. If we now turn to page number 4, this is the management's discussion and analysis. This section of the report is an analysis of the college for 2 years. It compares prior year, current year, and it has information on capital assets, long-term debt, other items that are going on during the year or the following fiscal year for the college. Now, if you can follow me to page number 15, this is the statement of net position. I'll give you a second to turn to the page. We're going to focus on the first column, 2025, and I'm just going to go over the numbers. Total assets for the fiscal year were $239.7 million. Deferred outflows of resources were $10.1 million. Total liabilities were $58.3 million. Total deferred inflows of resources were $10.7 million. And if we go to the bottom section, it's the net position. Your net position is $180.8 million for the fiscal year, of which $43.3 million at the bottom is unrestricted. If we turn to page number 16, this is the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in fund balance and net position, excuse me. Operating revenues for the fiscal year were $13.6 million. Operating expenses were $69.7 million. And non-operating revenues were $69.8 million. This created a net increase in position of $13.7 million. Last year, you had 167.1. This year, you have 180.8, and that's with a change, the increase. If we now turn to page number 19, sorry about that. Let me go back to something. Forgot. I'm going to do a quick calculation. It's going to be the days of operations that the college has. And on page number 16, sorry about that, you go to total operating expenses and divide that by 365 for the days for the year, and you come up with $190,987, which is the daily cost for the college to open its doors, right? So based on that number, we're going to go back to page number 15. And at the bottom where it says unrestricted under net position, there's an amount there that's $41.3 million. That we divided by the 180,000, and we come up with 216 days of operations. Those are the days of operations that the college has, and if you didn't receive any revenues for 216 days, I mean, that's how much you would be able to expend, right? I mean, nothing coming in. So that's pretty good. Last year you had 217. It's a drop of 1 day, so it's not significant. So that's very good. If you turn to page number 19 now, this is the section for the notes to the financial statements. This supplement the financial statements and go into more detail. What they include are like summary of significant accounting policies, detailed disclosures on cash, capital assets, long-term debt, pensions, and some other big items. So you can go over that. If we now turn to page number 68, this, I'll give you a second, sorry about that. This is the independent auditor's report on internal controls over financial reporting and on compliance. This is not an opinion, it's a report, and it's solely to identify the types of deficiencies, significant deficiencies, or material weaknesses, of which there were none reported for the fiscal year for the college, so that's excellent. If we turn to page number 70, this is the independent auditor's report on compliance for each major federal and state program under the Uniform Guidance and Texas Grant Management Standards. This year, you got an unmodified opinion, which is the highest that you can get. And what this means is that the college complied in all material respects with compliance requirements of the Uniform Guidance and Texas Grant Management Standards. And that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll stick around.
Questions?
Thank you.
This
Have a
is
good
for,
evening.
I like to see a different face every time, every
Thank you,
year.
ma'am.
And
Yeah,
that,
yeah, they switch us around.
and that was the agreement, that because
Yeah.
you give us great service.
Yeah, we try to-
And a great price, but we need to have a different set of eyes every time.
Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Carlos, thank you.
this is for informational purposes only and does not require board action. Next item. Annual review, 9F, annual review of CAK local appropriations and revenue sources, investments. I call on Mr. Frank Perez and Mr. Carlos Pecero.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, Mr. President. The Government Code Section 2256.005 requires that this board review its investment policy not less than annually. Local policy CAK was last reviewed on January 22nd, 2025. The policy was last revised on that date and last reviewed by the board on February 20th, 2025. The attached policy that we have was reviewed by TASB, and in their update 50 did not have any recommended changes or updates. Your staff has reviewed it and has no recommended updates or changes. There's no action required except for the board to acknowledge the review, the annual review, and the acknowledgement would be satisfied by virtue of the board minutes and the board in this particular recording.
Very good. I move to approve to acknowledge annual review of CAK local appropriations and revenue sources investments.
Second.
By Ms. Stein, second by Dr. Lopez Harris. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
9G, grants awarded to Texas Southmost College for the month of October. I call on Dr. Stella Garcia.
Thank you, Vice Chair Science. Chair Garza, members of the board, President Rodriguez. This is your regular update. Since the last board meeting, these are the grants that the college has received. The City of Brownsville, that is, we use that as the hotel and occupancy tax grant to promote the centennial. We did advertising in the Texas Monthly in December and some social media within Texas Monthly as well. The second one, the Education Texas Fund of Communities Foundation of Texas, is a project that Dr. Plummer is working on with rural school districts to, enhance the pathways for health programs. And then the collision repair is a small grant that the auto body, one of the auto body instructors went after, and it's for some equipment in the auto body program. And then the last is a Skills for Small Business, which does training for businesses under 100. And it's in a grant that as businesses are interested, they submit an application, and then we go do the training on any of the courses that we offer. And then the rest of it is just the roll-up of the grant report from the beginning of the year. Happy to answer any questions.
You've been busy.
A little bit.
This is for informational purposes only and does not require board action. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. Item number 10, Academic Committee, Dr. Tony Zavaleta.
Thank you. The Academic Committee met on Tuesday, March 3rd. President were Chair Garza, Trustee Alvarete, President Rodriguez, and myself, members of the administration. Item 10A, consideration and possible action to approve articulation agreement between Texas Southmost College and Texas State University.
Dr. Zavaleta, thank you so much. Madam Chair, Board Trustees, President Rodriguez. Before you, for your consideration, is a articulation agreement between Texas Southmost College and Texas State University. Excuse me, Texas State University. This articulation agreement is intended for develop smoother transfer pathways for our students. So this is just the beginning. If approved, this will give us the opportunity to develop those pathways to make it easy, an easier transfer of our students to Texas State University. The articulation agreement has been reviewed by legal, so what you see before you is the last version of it.
Any questions?
Need a motion.
You have a question? No, the motion. No, I know. I was seeing if there are any questions. All right. I move to approve the articulation agreement of Texas State University and authorize President Rodriguez to execute the articulation agreement as presented.
Second.
A motion by Dr. Zavaleta, second by Ms. Aldrete. Any questions? No questions? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Against? Motion carries.
Item 10B, consideration and possible action to approve the clinical affiliation agreement between Texas Southmost College and South Texas Health System.
Thank you, Dr. Zavaleta. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, before you, it's a clinical affiliation agreement between Texas Southmost College and South Texas Health System. This affiliation agreement will support hands-on training and skill development for all of our health professions. This agreement is for 3 years, and it has been reviewed by legal counsel.
Okay. I move to approve the clinical affiliation between the South Texas Health System and authorize President Rodriguez to execute the agreement as presented.
Motion by Dr. Zavaleta. Second by Ms. Aldrete. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Item number 10C, consideration and possible action to approve the affiliation agreement between Texas Southmost College and the New Horizon Health Center.
Thank you, Dr. Zavaleta. Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, President Rodriguez, before you, it's a clinical affiliation agreement with New Horizon Health Center. Again, this will provide hands-on training for our students in the health professions. It has been reviewed by legal counsel, and this agreement is for 1 year with the possibility to renew another year.
Okay. I move to approve the affiliation agreement with New Horizon Health Center and authorize President Rodriguez to execute the agreement as presented.
Motion by Dr. Zavaleta.
Second.
Second by Ms. Aldrete. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Item number 10D, consideration and possible action on approval to pursue a certificate of proficiency level 2 in limited medical radiologic technician.
Thank you, Dr. Zavaleta. Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, President Rodriguez, before you is for your consideration, the opportunity to pursue this level 2 certificate in limited medical radiologic technology. This will give an opportunity to expand our radiology program, but this is just the first step. What we will do, this will give us the opportunity to do a feasibility study, see where we're at, and then we'll bring it back to you with costs and all the expenses that will be required for this program.
Okay. I move to approve the certificate of proficiency level 2 in limited medical radiologic technician and to seek the coordinating board and SAC's approval to offer this program in January 2027.
Second.
A motion by Dr. Zavaleta, second by Ms. Aldrete. Any discussion? I guess those in the medical field know that there is a shortage of radiology technicians. Thank you for starting that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Item 10E, consideration of possible action on approval to pursue an Associate of Applied Science in Plumbing and Pipe Fitting Technology degree.
Thank you, Dr. Zavaleta. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez. Again, this program is here for your consideration so that we could pursue a feasibility study on plumbing and pipe fitting. But as we know, this is an area that is going to just boom in the next couple of years, so we'll be ready to work on this.
All right. I move to approve the Associate of Applied Science in Plumbing and Pipe Fitting Technology and to seek coordinating board and SAC's approval to offer this program in January 2027.
Second.
A motion by Dr. Zavaleta, second by Ms. Aldrete. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Item 10F, consideration and possible action on approval to pursue an Associate of Applied Science in Diesel Mechanics Technology.
Thank you, Dr. Zavaleta. Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, President Rodriguez, before you, it's for your consideration is the Associate of Applied Science in Diesel Mechanics Technology. This will give you an opportunity to do a feasibility study as well, and we'll bring it back to you with cost and expenses.
I move to approve the Associate of Applied Science in Diesel Mechanics Technology and to seek coordinating board and SAC's approval to offer the program by January 2027.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Zavaleta, second by Ms. Aldrete. Any discussion? I remember when we started this program, and it was just, we were just supposed to train mechanics because there was such a need, and now we're talking about an associate's. This is one of the ones you said we're adding
Correct.
in the near future.
Correct.
Thank you so much. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against?
Finally, item number 10G,
Motion carries.
consideration and possible action on approval to pursue an Associate of Applied Science in Auto Body Repair.
Thank you, Dr. Zavaleta. Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, President Rodriguez. This, again, we currently have a certificate level 1 that's currently active in auto body technology. This will give students an opportunity to grow in their field by us being able to offer an auto body repair associate degree. And again,
Very
we'll be
pleased to see these programs coming back. I mean, we had them before, and we're going to have them, and they're very important. I move to approve the Associate of Applied Science in Auto Body Repair and to seek coordinating board and SAC's approval to offer the program in January 2027.
A Motion
Second.
by Dr. Zavaleta, second by Ms. Aldrete. You want to finish, Mr. Hernandez?
I just wanted to add that this program, like I said, we'll be doing a feasibility study as well, and we'll bring it back to you for final review.
Thank you. Any discussion? I am with you, Dr. Zavaleta. I'm happy to see this back, because I remember 18 years ago when I came on the board, these were being sunsetted.
Yeah,
It's true.
that concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to say that these programs were for certificate only, and now they're for an associate's. That means more pay. That's better for our community. I'm very, very happy that you are going through with all this work to bring these to an associate's degree. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
And that's the part we take for granted, right? Because it gets done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But also the pride, because when it's a certificate, but now you can ask the student, do you have a degree?
Yes.
And they can say, yes, it's an associate degree, it doesn't matter. So, thank you. And you're done, Dr. Salenta, right? Yes. Facilities Committee?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Facilities Committee met on Monday, March the 3rd, 2026. Present were Chair Garza, Trustee Garcia, President Rodriguez, myself, members of the TSC administration, and College Legal Counsel. The committee discussed the following items. 11A, consideration and possible action on award RFP 26-07 for windstorm and hail insurance. I'll call on Mr. Pacero, Vice President of Finance and Administration, and Ms. Akila Tuttle, Director of Operations, Safety and Risk Management.
Thank you, sir. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, with your permission, I'll ask Ms. Kila Tuttle to make the presentation.
Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, before you, you have the RFP 26-07 for windstorm and hail insurance. Before I get started in the presentation, I will say that for this RFP, we had consulted with Valley Risk Consulting, which are present, as well as one of the respondents for the RFP. They are also present, so if you have any questions as we go through. The RFP was published in December. January was when we did the evaluations, and here we are proposing the results to you. This particular insurance coverage is for named windstorm and hail only. It is for a total insured value of the TSC buildings and content property, which is $456,231,184, and it consists of 49 buildings. The evaluation committee consisted of myself, Orlando Ruiz, and Miguel Cavazos. Something's missing. My apologies. This particular presentation is actually missing part of the respondents. Let's see. Yeah, I'll go to this one. This is a breakdown of the different respondents. We had Hub International and we had Streamline. Streamline presented one option, which was to insure which was to insure 100% of our valued property for a premium of $260 million. They did not present any other options to us. As you can see, Hub International presented several different options. Our previous coverage was through Hub International, and it was for a limit of coverage of $35 million at a 5% deductible. And our previous premium was $1 million. We've highlighted two options that through our conversations with our consultants, we found to be the best options that we were presented with. Both options allow us to increase our limit of coverage to $50 million. One is giving us the same deductible we currently have at 5%, and one is decreasing our deductible down to 3%. The difference in premiums from last year, as you can see, option 3, which is the 5% deductible, is a decrease of $149,000, and then the other option, which would decrease our deductible to 3%, would be a small increase of $11,000. In addition to the actual insurance policy, this year Hub International provided us with an additional consulting services proposal. These consulting services would allow, is through disaster recovery services, and it allows us to consult with this disaster recovery management committee that helps bring in a variety of different companies to assist us with any sort of disaster recovery that we may have. It also assists us with claim filings, with FEMA. There's a lot of filing that goes on with FEMA, so they would help assist with that as well. This is a free service for us unless we have to do any extensive work for them. So it's just an addition to the policy. These are the areas in which the proposed vendor was strongest in. The expense will be coming from the approved budget for fiscal year 25-26. That concludes my presentation.
We're all happy we're not in that committee. Thank you, Mr. Camarillo, for doing the work. But I was at the committee meeting, and it was very well done. Thank you.
Chair. Thank you, Ms. Tuttle. So I move to award RFP 26-07 for windstorm and hail insurance to Hub International Texas, Inc. in the amount of $948,271. Presentation proposal option 3, and authorize President Rodriguez to execute the contract as presented.
A motion by Mr. Camarillo,
Second.
second by Mr. Garcia. All those, any discussion?
Did you want to address?
Yeah. So if I may, very quick, Trustee Camarillo.
Yes.
With the two options that we have there, option A and option B, we have, it's the same proposed vendor. There is a difference in the premium as a result of the deductible that's going to be covered if there were a loss, right? One is 3%, one is 5%.
Right.
So although one of the options shows a decrease in the premium, option B shows an increase to the premium of only $11,000. And if there were a loss in excess of $1 million, we would see where that option could benefit the college because we would pay less in our deductible as opposed to saving $140,000, but then when the loss occurred, we may be out the $1 million as a result of the deductible. So that's something that we wanted to share with the Board of Trustees to present both those options, option A and option B, showing that option A, it'll save us $150,000, but we may pay more if there's a loss as part of the deductible. And then option B, where we're going to pay $11,000 more as part of the policy, but if there were a loss, we could save up to $1 million. That's for the board's consideration, and we wanted to highlight that to ensure that we shared that information.
Thank you, sir. So I should read both options as part of this one motion, or each is going to have its individual motion?
Yeah, and I think we have the option to do A or B. The committee is recommending that we do option B, where we're going to invest a little bit more. We're going to spend a little bit more, $11,000, but if there were a loss, we could save up to $1 million.
I think that work was done in the committee, so I think the committee recommends.
So we recommend option B, sir.
Okay, so I read option A. So I need to retract that, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to retract my motion, if I may, and offer option B. I move to award RFP 26-07 for windstorm and hail insurance to Hub International Texas, Inc. in the amount of $1,109,317. Presentation proposed option 4, and authorize President Rodriguez to execute the contract as presented.
I have a motion by Mr. Camarillo, second. By Mr. Garcia. Like I said, I'm glad we're not in that committee.
Hate to repeat everything that was just said.
There was a lot of work done in that committee, so thank you. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Mr. Camarillo, give me a second. I see student government representatives here. Have you had enough of the meeting, or we need to continue, or? I am glad to see you guys here, because I really believe you are the future of this board. So thank you for being here.
11B, consideration and possible action on policy renewal for property and casualty insurance services for FY 2025-2026. I'll call on Mr. Pecero and Ms. Quilatero.
Thank you, Trustee Camarillo. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, with your permission, I'll have Ms. Kilatoro present this item as well.
Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, before you, you have the second proposed annual renewal for this particular coverage. This coverage is provided through TSC, and it is our property, auto liability, physical damage, school liability, privacy and information security. So everything that the windstorm hail doesn't cover, this covers. Half of my slides are missing. You guys don't even get to see. The contribution for this, is there anything missing? No, okay, I'm sorry. The contribution coverage amount for this year is $7,062, $626,000. That is an increase of $21,000 from this current policy, which is pretty standard. We see about that amount of premium increase from year to year. And these expenses will come from this particular fiscal year. I can answer any questions as there's a slide there's a lot of slides that are actually missing from this particular presentation. You may have them in your packets, though. Is it in the packet? Okay.
Yes, it's in the packet.
Okay. So we did provide in your packet, we did provide the coverage limits and deductibles for your information. Some of the limits and deductibles vary, so if you have questions about that, I can answer specific any specific information. But you can see here, one thing I wanted to highlight was that our property deductible for weather perils, except named storm and numbered named storms, yeah, because that's covered through a different one. That weather perils deductible did go down from $1 million to $500,000, so we did see a decrease in that deductible. Okay.
Thank you, Ms.
Yep, it's just a renewal of the policy.
Thank you, Ms. Sedum. I move to approve the policy renewal for renewal of property and casualty insurance services with TSC Risk Management Fund through RFP 24-03 in the amount of $762,626, and authorize President Rodriguez to execute the purchase order contract as presented.
One second.
Aye.
Aye. 11C, Facilities Update. I'll call on Mr. Pacero and Mr. Robles and Mr. Mascoro.
Thank you, Trustee Camarillo. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, with your permission, I'll have Mr. Robles present this item.
Thank you, Mr. Pacero, Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, and President Rodriguez. This is just an update of what has been transpiring within the facilities area, so I'll get started. First up is the thermal cooling plant. Milestone is we've got all 5 cooling towers in, running water as they're supposed to. This is a picture of the old towers that were there. Here's a picture of the new towers. They're all installed, running water as they're supposed to. They're really affecting the chillers, the old chillers that are soon to be replaced. The hydronic line replacement project is up next. This is where we have the red area indicated where we had the problems with all the old piping that we've had to gone in, excavate, repair, and then backfill. The project went out for advertisement the 20th. We had all respondents back by the 6th. A committee has been assembled and to evaluate the RFP responses, and we'll be coming back to the Board of Trustees in the month of April for recommendations. The next is the tennis court restoration project. Here, the RFP was put out on December the 20th as well. It was returned on January 28th. The committee has been assembled, and we'll be coming back to you in April to make a recommendation. Here you'll see some pictures of what the tiles look like, which will be going over the existing tennis courts and basketball court. There's a picture of what the court would look like. Those aren't the colors that we're going to use, but you can see each tile, how they're interlocked. Here's the pickleball court. Again, you have to look closely to really see where the interlocking device or tiles come to play. But those colors may resemble what that court or those two courts would look like. Next, we have the tennis court, and this is the visual that they will have on, if they're playing, we'll have 2 tennis courts. What's not shown is the basketball court. We'll have the basketball court as well with new goals as well as the tiling that you saw. We'll have the logo in the middle and a couple of other logos on the court in some of the other areas. Next is the pipe fitting lab at ITEC that Dr. Garcia mentioned earlier. This project has been completed. Everything is done. All testing has been completed. We had to add VFD, which was part of the process, and it works properly. They've had no issues. They've run students through and done some things, so it's working as it was engineered. And we do have the 20-student cohort as well, so that did double that program's capability. Here you'll see some pictures, and the closest on the right side, you'll see that apparatus that's hanging down, that's the vacuum, or that's what's pulling out any type of soldering, welding, or any material that's being cut. In that area, it'll all be evacuated out. Here you'll see a close-up of that same arm that is used to extract all the material or smoke that is caused. There again is just another picture of how it looks. Next, the rehab American Legion. All of HVAC is completed. All rehab has been done on the interior. The only thing that lacks is us coming in, cleaning the building as far as where those new offices are at and waxing floors. But the leasee asked to move in early, so we told him, look, if you move in, not early, but as we were building, we told them, look, if you move in, it's going to really hamper us cleaning the building. They said they were fine with it. They would, arrange their cleaning. So we're going to come back and just aid in areas where they say, hey, look, this office is vacant. Can y'all get it done? We'll get it done for them. Here you'll see some pictures of what a bathroom is, how we gutted it and came back and see the difference of. On the one on the left we're still cleaning up. The one on the right is the floor put in. All that's lacking there is the commode and the stall. Here you'll see where we had to break out or bring down the ceiling tiles on both sides so that we could go in and do the HVAC and then come back and put back new ceiling tiles. Here you'll see again some of the areas that we came back and put the ceiling tiles in, and all that was left there was to paint the walls. The one on the right is still, not at that point in time, HVAC was completing their task, which they had, and we just had to replace the ceiling tiles. Here you'll see where we took off one HVAC unit and we're prepping the area to put another one on, the new unit, and there you'll see that's the new unit. It's been put in place. It just needed to be wired up for electrical and turned on. Here you'll see some on the left, the two on the left, pictures 1 and 2. The stained tiles from the roof that had a leak, completely gutted it, and you'll see on the right, that's what it looks like currently. For the exception of the base at the bottom where it looks brown, it's now the bluish gray. And new ceiling tiles, HVAC, cooling the space. And that completes my report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Robles. Appreciate everything you and the staff has done to rehab that place and make it look 1,000 times better. Thank you so much. This item is information only. No action is required. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Camarillo. Policies Committee, Ms. Aldrete?
The Policies Committee met on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. Present were Chair Garza, President Rodriguez, myself, members of the TSC Administration College and Board Legal Counsel. The committee discussed the following items. Consideration and possible action to approve the following TASB Update 50 local policies. CS Local, Information Security, DGBA Local, Personnel Management Relations Employee Grievances, DGC Local, Employee Rights and Privileges, Employee Expression and Use of College Facilities, DHB Local, Employee Standards of Conduct, Child Abuse and Neglect Reporting, GB Local, Public Complaints and Hearings, GD Local, Community Expressions and Use of College Facilities. I call on Mr. Frank Perez.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Rodriguez. You have before you TASB recommended revisions to these 6 local policies. The first one is CS Local, Information Security. The recommended revisions to this policy incorporate House Bill 150, which requires a college to notify affected persons of cybersecurity incidents, formerly referred to as security incidents. It's a very simple revision. The next one is DGBA Local, Personnel Management Relations, Employee Grievances. The language has been reorganized to clarify the structure of the grievance processes. Recommended revisions include provide notice to employees on the college website, clarify that certain complaints must begin at the board level, clarify what the record, all of the evidence that is, to include in the grievance, and to allow an employee to make an audio recording of the hearing. The next local policy up for revision is DGC Local, Employee Rights and Privileges, Employee Expression and Use of College Facilities. The recommended revisions throughout this policy incorporate Senate Bill 2972, which addresses the regulation of expressive activities on college campuses and includes, for instance, a definition of expressive activities. It also has, from Senate Bills 2972, language added as to the time, place, and manner of restrictions prohibiting the distribution of materials in such a manner that is materially and substantially disruptive to college operations. It revises when identification must be provided by employees and employee organizations who are distributing materials or using college facilities at that particular moment, when they must provide identification to a college representative. And recommended revisions provide that the distribution of literature by faculty and other instructional personnel as part of instruction or other classroom activities is not governed by this section. The next one is DHB Local, Employee Standards of Conduct, Child Abuse and Neglect Reporting. The recommended revisions incorporate Senate Bill 571, which requires the reporting of instances of child abuse or neglect to a law enforcement agency within 24 hours and amends the definition of a law enforcement agency. The next one is GB Local, Public Complaints and Hearings. Language has been reorganized to clarify the structure of the grievance process and includes clarifying that certain complaints, again, must begin at the board level, clarify what the record includes, that's the evidence for the complaint, and allow an individual to make an audio recording of the hearing. The final local policy is GD Local, Community Expression and Use of College Facilities. The recommended revisions throughout this policy incorporates, again, Senate Bill 2972, which addresses the regulation of expressive activities on college campuses and includes, again, a definition of expressive activities, and also from Senate Bill 2972, language has been added again as to the time, place, and manner of restrictions that prohibit the distribution of materials in such a way that it is materially and substantially disruptive to the college operations. It identifies when identification must be provided by community members and organizations who are distributing materials or using college facilities. And language related to designated public forums has been added to require that the board designate common outdoor areas where community members may engage in permissible expressive activities and publish those areas on the college website and in other publications. The recommended action is to approve the following local policies: CS local, DGBA local, DGC local, DBH local, GB local, and GD local. That concludes my report. I will answer any questions.
I move to approve the following local policies: CS, DGBA, DGC, DHB, GB, and GD.
I have a motion by Ms. Aldrete. Second by Ms. Hines. Any discussion? What happens if, because that's a recommendation from TASB, right?
I'm sorry?
That's a recommendation from TASB.
That's correct.
What happens if we say no?
This is the local policy, so you have discretion as the board to discuss this and make whatever you deem appropriate. Now, normally, when that has happened a couple of times, we will make the correction. Mr. Penny and I will revise it, bring it back to the committee or to the board if the board directs it, and we'll pass it by TASB just to make sure as a final revision approval. But it's up to you. It's local policy. As long as we don't run afoul of the legal policy, you're in good shape.
I know the committee did a lot of work on this, but all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
This concludes my report.
Thank you. Since we have the student government students here, would you like to take a picture with the board? Yes. Before we go into executive session? Yes, ma'am. Do you know what executive session is? We go in there to discuss either personnel, real estate, and what else, Mr. Counsel?
There's a few of them now. It's on the agenda. If you look at the agenda, I don't have the agenda right in front of me at this moment, but it'll have 5 items that are appropriate for executive session: real estate, personnel, and various others. Those are the 5, and only the 5 that can go into the executive session. Now, the executive session can also include members as the board may deem appropriate to discuss with them what they need to do.
Oh, do you want a picture? Yes, ma'am. Want a picture with the student kid? Dilo? That's fine. You do well.
These don't want to work.
Yesterday, see, my wife was out, whatever, and I had to make dinner. So I made an omelet. You know, I made an omelet, ham and some cheese and lettuce. I was looking for tomatoes and gonna find tomatoes. So I made it, and it was a pretty good omelet. It was 3-egg omelet. About an hour later, I was still hungry, so I made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and some milk. About 3 o'clock in the morning, my acid reflux
Unless you put all the spices.
it wasn't. I couldn't figure it out either. I mean, I've got, acid reflux medication.
Mr. Camarillo. Mr. Camarillo.
A lot of
Mr. Camarillo. Mr. Camarillo. The board will not convene in the executive session as provided by Government Code, Chapter 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, and 551.0761. And we're now in executive session. session. Mr. Camarillo, you got a motion to make?
Yes. I move that the Board of Trustees authorize and approve the fiscal year 2025-2026 salary schedule as discussed in executive session.
I have a motion by Mr. Camarillo, second by Ms. Aldrete. There's no discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Y ahora, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Regular board meeting. April 16, everybody's okay? After the gala. April 16th, and then May the 21st? Okay. I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn? I'm sorry, second?
Motion by Ms. Science, second by Mr. Camarillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. We stand adjourned. Vámonos.